City series cigars and Citrus 7s, black cement 3s, 4s, the hairs and bread 11s. No doubt that I'll be wearing some fire at any sighting. With these Doran Becker 5s, you can see me in any lighting. It's exciting, I'll be flexing to the coldest degree. What's up, everybody? It's Sneakerhead M Checks. I got the 2026 white and red 13s or Chicago 13s, whatever you want to call them, releasing Saturday, March 14th. So as usual, we're going to take a close detailed look at the shoe from all angles. I'm going to put these on and step around them, see how they look on feet. After that, I'm going to share my opinion on these, and then I'm going to talk about release predictions, suggestions on when to buy if you don't end up hitting these for retail, and all that stuff. So let's get right to it. Leather looks good, feels nice, good quality, much better than it was on the other two retros of these. The red on these looks really good. It's a real true red. It was definitely more dim on the last two releases, but this brighter shade definitely reminds me of the originals more. Hologram up here with the protective plastic as usual. Leather here looks nice and neat too. And besides the color or the shade being perfect, this red part also feels really nice too, as usual. I always like that about 13s. But one thing I wish they would have did differently on these is the shape. That OG cut would have made these a lot more appealing. They would have been perfect, actually. Back looks good. I always felt like this was the most appealing angle for the Jordan 13s. Not so much like this, but that side back angle. Yeah, all white interiors, so make sure you got clean socks when you wear these. Be careful with the black socks or any, color besides white. Keep one of them fabric shavers on deck if you know what I'm talking about. Insoles are also white and have the black Jumpman logo. Beautiful outsoles. I always like the color placement here. It looks even better when nothing's discolored. No disrespect to the OGs, but yeah, these look nice. Here's the box, inspired by the box the original 1998 pair came in, just like the box for the 2017 pair. We actually got this box for these every single time except for the 2010 release. Inside is white cardboard, white paper, and here's the box label. Air Jordan 13 Retro in white, black, and true red. Here's a quick all-around view of the shoe. I know, see they look on feet. Said my shorts are so drippy, they thought they were swim trunks. I said we going up and I'm not lying. I've been out here eating like it's outside dining. I hit them certain deep spots that your man ain't finding. She dig how I knock them walls down, we inside mine. I'm just trying to get the money, fuck somebody's daughter. I've been moving up the ranks now. I seen somebody say that this is the best release of this shoe since the OG. And I tried to ignore that at first. I always like to see for myself and form my own uninfluenced opinion. So I did, but I gotta say, bro was right. I would shout him out, but honestly, I don't even remember who it was. It was just a random post I seen scrolling on Instagram. But yeah, these are way better than the last two retros. I never had the 2017 pair, but I did have the 2010s, and these definitely shit on those. I mean, they shit on them both, but I feel like having owned the 2010 pair, I could speak a little bit more on them. Quality's way better, color's way better, everything. And if we being honest, the quality on these might be better than it was on the OGs. That's definitely debatable, and I know people have different perceptions of, what's better quality. Also, some people have a hard time admitting that something is better than the original version. I try not to be like that. I feel like there's always like a little temptation to be biased towards the OGs, but I mean, if something's better, something's better. I ain't got no problem admitting it. I feel like the leather on the OGs was good, but the application could have been better on some pairs. If you look at enough 1998 pairs, you'll see what I'm talking about. But like on these, even if the quality of the leather isn't better than it is on the OGs, I just like how it looks neat all around. From the toe box, sides where they have all the stitching here and the tumbled leather, and it still looks really good on both sides, the tongue. But the OGs have that better shape that we haven't seen on the 13 since 1998. That would have been real nice on these, but maybe we'll get that on the Flints or the next Bread 13's release. I need it on the Breads for sure, whenever they do those. Speaking of the Flints, I was actually planning on passing on this year's Flint 13's release just because I think I only wear my 2020 pair like twice. And it's just like, I gotta ask myself, are they releasing the shoes too fast, or do I just not like Flint 13's that much to own them? Because wearing them 2 times in 6 years is crazy. I know I have a lot of shoes, but I should have worn those more than 2 times in 6 years. So yeah, like I told myself I probably wasn't gonna get them. I don't know what they're gonna be like, but if they give the next Flints the OG shape, I need them. Regardless of how many times I wore the last pair, if they got that, I'm gonna get the new shits and sell the 2020s, and hopefully I wear the new pair more, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, that's all these are missing really. They still nice though. See, the thing about these is I like them, but I don't like them that much. And because there's a lot of other Jordans that's the same color that I like better, I feel like like there's kind of no point in me getting these because I would probably almost never wear these. Like when I had the 2010 pair, I ended up selling them after a while because of that reason. Even though I did like them, I'd much rather wear Chicago 1s, Chicago 10s, Fire Red 5s, Hair 7s, Fire Red 4s, just to name a few. I mean, I can keep going. Shit, Fire Red 3s, Bugs Bunny 8s, the 12s. So there's really no point in me getting these. Like, even though I like them, I just feel like they would sit in the box, and I'm not that kind of collector. Not on a shoe that's brand new that I could wear. You know what I mean? Like, I like to wear my shit. This shit don't really do much for me sitting in here. I mean, yeah, it's cool to look at the boxes, you know what I mean? I love to make my content about shit, but like not wearing them is crazy to me. So I'm going to pass personally for that reason, but it's still a good retro. Would have been nice if they gave us that OG shape, but everything else is like perfect, I gotta say. Like I said, they're definitely better than the 2017 and 2010 releases. But leave me a comment and let me know how y'all feel about these and if you plan on copping or not. Now, with all things being normal, I'd expect these to be a very easy cop. Like, really easy. But seeing where the market is this close to release has me thinking that these might get the treatment that the Shadow 10s and Steel 10s got, where they limit the stock enough to push more demand for the shoe so they can sell out and keep their aura, I guess you could say. And I know those of us who just like the shoe could give a fuck about whatever aura someone else thinks these have or don't have, because we know what's up regardless of the stock produced, aftermarket value, or whatever. Jordan Brand's got to do what they got to do to remain as relevant as they are, so I get it. But if that is the case, unfortunately, these may be hard to get. And I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen because I don't have any confirmed information on it, but remember how Steel 10s, Shadow 10s, and Black Toe 14s were on their releases. 3 OG colorways that are respected by those who know what's up, but don't always get the same love from your average person who just doesn't know sneakers like that. If you're used to sneaker releases, you know that if this shoe gets released as a general release, they're going to sit in stores. They're probably even going to go on sale. And knowing how the world is today and how weird people are with, you know, not respecting anything that just doesn't sell out and has a crazy aftermarket value, I understand why they do it. It's almost like bad for the brand for OG colorways that's really the foundation of all this shit to get disrespected. Notice they only do it on the OG colorways. You know, they don't just do it on random shit. Like, even though Shattered Backboards I would say is a classic colorway, it's not an OG colorway. It does not mean nearly as much to the Jordan brand as something like these do. You know, Jordan played in these. He played games in the 98 season in them. Like, they just mean a little bit more to the foundation of the brand. So I've noticed Jordan is trying to protect those shoes or not let them get disrespected by a brick culture, as I like to call it. So I get it, but the bad part about that is it creates an inconvenience, and the only party that really gets inconvenienced by it is the people who actually really want the shoe. If you really want these and you know Jordans and you know how releases go, you know that you should be able to go into the store and get these at your convenience within reason. But if they limit these and bring the demand, that's going to bring resellers into the equation. Now the shoe's hard to get, and somebody who just loved this shoe and just wanted to buy it now has to deal with the extra competition on release day. Now there's a chance you might not get them for retail. You got to do something extra to get them, or you might have to pay extra to get them. So even though I understand it, I just don't like how we have to suffer from it, of all people. But I mean, when they did it with the Shadow 10s, Shadows had their little moment, and then shortly after the market died down. So I mean, if they do limit these, we could see the same thing happen, but it's no guarantee, because if you look at the Steel 10s and the Black Toe 14s, the price on those is still up. And that's if they're limited. Like I said, I don't have any confirmed information that they're going to be limited, so they might have a general release. They might release normally, sit in stores, be a super easy cop. I mean, hopefully they do that, so nobody who really wants a shoe has to deal with that. But if you really want them, I will be prepared for that just in case. Now, if that happens and they sell out and you don't end up getting them for retail and you still want them, you're probably going to be better off waiting a little bit buying them, or just not buying them right away. Regardless of what the market price is at that point, it's probably not going to go any higher than it is on release day or the day after. Exercise as much patience as you can and wait at least until people start to receive their pairs in from retailers that, you know, Wednesday or Thursday at the very least. But you'll probably be able to save a little bit more money if you wait a little bit longer. But let's just hope that they're not really limited, so nobody has to deal with that. But if this was helpful at all or taught you anything, I really appreciate if you like the video. And if you're interested in more reviews like this or any other sneaker related content, please do us both a favor and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Once you're subscribed, make sure you tap that little bell icon where the subscribe button was and select all. That way when I put a new video out, you'll get notified and you won't miss out on anything. Thank you all for watching. Everybody, please stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll see you next time.